So, data as a property right. I love tooting my own horn on Facebook, just giving in to my own narcissism, which is really what Facebook is. It's just giving in to your own vanity. I love that. But anyway, I've been studying data and um, come to the conclusion that data is the new oil in our society. And there's a little bit of traction in Silicon Valley where it's basically a thought experiment. What if you owned your own data? Okay? Right now, there is data. Everybody has files somewhere. Your doctor has a file on you. Facebook has a file on you. Google has a file on you. Your insurance agency has a file on you. Uh, your email account has a file on you. The FBI has a file on you. The DNA Ancestry.com has a file on you. Everybody has a file on everybody. Okay, that's the world we live in. What if we got legislation passed where you owned your own data and it was a property right, where you were able to negotiate whether you wanted your data to be used? Right now, there is no disincentive for somebody to uh, basically use your data against you. There's no disincentive. What if, in order to use somebody's data, you had to pay them, right? Where you actually own your own data. See, right now there's giant server farms, computer farms that people own, okay? It wouldn't be so bad if everybody was equal. But right now, not everybody is equal, okay? There are people who actually own those server farms, who actually own everybody's data, and those people are extremely wealthy. Extremely wealthy. Meanwhile, the people that are just ordinary people are becoming poorer and poorer, okay? And that's the effect of a digital society without proper legislation. So that's what I've been studying. Okay, I'm kind of a nerd. I like science fiction. I always have liked fiction stories, science fiction novels, and unfortunately, if you read George Orwell's 1984, there was a war on love where the government outlawed love, right? And that's kind of what you're seeing now. Maybe not to that extent, but that extent is closer than we all realize. I'd say probably 10 years. All you have to do is go on YouTube and there's lectures on YouTube at MIT, at Stanford, at Harvard. Basically, it's the next 10 years is going to be completely transformed. Um, it's going to be a different society. Once 5G comes in, it's just a different society. America will be transformed into this global entity. And many people fear that you're going to lose your freedom if we haven't lost our freedoms already. So, we must learn about the Constitution, why our founders founded the Constitution, or we're going to lose our freedoms. That's how serious this is. You guys can go to Hillsdale College. You guys can sign up. Go to hillsdale.com, hillsdale.edu, or just go on YouTube and look at some of their lectures, okay? These are the brilliant minds, and they're constitutional scholars. And if you really start learning and teaching yourself about how America was founded, and you read um, the Constitution and you understand government, it's necessary. You have to, please, educate yourself. Okay? Uh, it's easier now than ever to educate yourself because we're on the brink of losing freedom in this country. And once we lose that freedom, it'll be gone. It'll be gone. Um, because it's really hard to roll back government. It's government is and government really, I mean, it's really hard to roll back government. Government is like this perpetuating snowball. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and you can't get any reform passed. But that's another subject. I don't want to get too far down that road. I want to stick on data as a property right. This is important. People should know that your insurance company, uh, Facebook, your doctor, your healthcare records, the CIA, FBI. There's so many entities, Walmart, Walgreens, all these entities have records. And they're free. Right now, there's no disincentive for them to share people's data. If there was a disincentive, if in order to share somebody's data you had to pay them, that would create a disincentive to do that. Whereas right now there is no disincentive because there's nobody in government that's willing to stand up except for Andrew Yang. I will give you that. Andrew Yang. But and, he'll never get elected, you see. The Democratic Party will not allow Andrew Yang to get elected, and the reason is because those in power benefit from the current system. So please get your head out of your ass, okay? Educate yourself because this is your children's future, and you have a responsibility on the backs of your children. What kind of future are you leaving them? That's my question to all you parents out there who never passed the 12th grade, who can't listen for more than 2 seconds without feeling a certain way. Okay? Educate yourself about why in the hell this country was founded and ask yourself, is it the same country that it was when it was founded? No. No. It's not. I'm afraid it's too late. I hope not. I hope we still have freedom. But the bureaucrats and the bureaucracy machine and the power that other people seek over others is more entrenched now than ever. Our founders knew this. John Adams, Benjamin Franklin. They knew this. They knew that if wealth is not spread around equally, or not equally, but if societies are more polite when the wealth is spread around a little bit and not in the hands of a few. When the wealth is in the hands of a few, you always have problems. And that was the beauty about the Constitution. If you read the Constitution, our founders knew that human beings are misguided. Human beings fall short. Uh, and we are capable of terrible things. Human beings are predators, okay? And our founders knew this. And they created a document and they created the government that said we the people are created equal. And it was a beautiful thing. And it's so terribly sad to see it shit on by so many different types of people. By uneducated people. These people are not educated. They have no experience. You go to an 8-year school, you graduate from an 8-year college. That doesn't necessarily make you experienced in why the Constitution was founded. And unfortunately, DC and the people in New York who own the media have no experience. They have no real life experience, and they really have no reason to abide by the Constitution, to respect the Constitution. Um, you can't get legislation passed. You can't get reform if you don't have a media. This is why I'm bringing this up. You can't get reform if you don't have a media. You just can't. Another thing, student loans. Now, there is an article in the Constitution, an amendment to the Constitution, that talks about central banking. Um, and one thing it talks about is that you have a right to file bankruptcy, to start again. It's in the Constitution. So, how then is it constitutional for the Supreme Court to say to a large, substantial population, student loans, that you can't file bankruptcy? And it's unconstitutional. It says that in the Constitution. And yet, you can't file bankruptcy for student loans. It's just, there's so many things that if people got their head out of their ass, if people realized they're being shortchanged, you could get substantial reform. You might be able to make a difference, but people just don't. They're more interested in who won the game. They're more interested in who was on TV last night. They've done a really good job at keeping people uneducated. But if you want to get educated, do so. All you have to do, like I said, is go on YouTube, go on to hillsdale.edu, or they have a YouTube channel, and watch their lectures. You're being shortchanged. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to say that. Your data is being used, breached. China has probably the social security numbers of every American. China has the ability to steal your identity. It's being shared by private companies based in America. The government is trying to classify all this information. There's so many things that if people only knew about, they would be disgusted. But people don't know. Because you have people on TV who are paid to distract you. They're paid to deflect you from what's really going on. I'm sorry to say. And I want to appeal. I know there's not a lot of upper class people out there who watch stuff like this, but I want to appeal to you upper class people. Please, we need you in this fight. We need a few upper class people who on our side here. Please don't leave us hanging. Okay, there's serious systemic problems in our financial system, and it's only going to get worse if good people don't stand up and say, hey, this is wrong. And if we could get some people from the upper class on our side, we may be able to change things. But right now you have just misinformed upper class who just don't know. They just don't realize. But if they did, because it's going to affect them too, okay? It's funny because elite people think that just because they're rich, that protects them from disease, it protects them from famine, but it doesn't. They're subject to it too. So we need to get people on board and change this system because it's only going to get worse if they don't fix this. Okay, that's all I got. I just wanted to rant. It's a new idea that's been going on. So please tell me what you think. Like, comment, share. Thanks.